and welcome. Going back and forth, sorry. Trying to admit people. So I'm going to jump right in. I think my clicker isn't working. So. All right, improvise. Okay, so just a reminder of our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. We believe in building careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. We also want to be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. We believe in God, family, then business. And this is our Y4C2Ts. Win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. And our perspective is a technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. We think like a top producer, act like a training consultant, and focus all activities on service productivity and profitability. All right. So I just like to go over that every week, just as a reminder of what we stand for, what we believe, and just, you know, that's our foundation. So yeah, there are a lot of people on Zoom, just so you know, Pano. Okay. All right, so April birthdays. We've got Jamerson, James, Jason, Gia, Samantha, Mia, Randy, Leticia, David, Gabriella, and Pearl. Happy birthday, you guys. Mia is today. Happy birthday, Mia. All right, anniversaries. All of these folks have a work anniversary this month. Congratulations, and we're just so proud to be in business with you and appreciate you. This is our newest member to our KW Vision team. It's Sung Pil. He goes by Peter, and his last name is Moon. So welcome, Peter. Anyone have a bucket to fill? Yeah, what you're thankful for. Gratitude. Hold on. I want you to say that again.
I'm thankful for learning everything that I've learned so far here at the Market Center. And I'm thankful for all the agents that come in and want to learn and want to succeed in their new business of real estate.
No one, I admitted some people. Anyone else?
Yeah. I'm thankful that Snap HD is in the house.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm thankful that you brought us lunch today and that you're here to bring some value to our agents. We appreciate you. Yeah.
Hey, Amy.
Yes. Jaime, you got one?
Yeah, I just want to be thankful for everyone there, the team, and having to, work with everybody. And I just want to also take this opportunity to wish everyone a blessed Easter.
Oh, I love that.
And everyone, to your families and your loved ones. So anyway, yeah, just real thankful for that. The other day, I had a real nice follow-up call with a customer. And I was reminded again of the great interaction we have with our clients. And we got a little sidetracked. He began to tell me a little bit about his family, but that's always nice, when clients kind of open up to you that way. So that was kind of a neat thing. I was thankful for the conversation with him. So anyway, have a great week, everyone.
That's great, Jaime. Thank you so much. Happy Easter to you too. All right. So we have a company dollar capper, Mercedes Arahan. Congratulations. We have we have a capper cap and pin for you because you did cap last year. And we just fell a little bit behind with that stuff. So anyway, we have both for you. Congratulations. It's quite an accomplishment. Yeah. And Tina Yang is our franchise royalty capper. So way to go, Tina. It's awesome. No more franchise fees for until your anniversary date. And like to congratulate Carlos Edwards on his first transaction and first closing. Congratulations, Carlos. Woohoo. And we've got Wei Chu 2 on her first closing. So congratulations, Wei. More celebrations. We've got the top 5% for the first quarter right here. Awesome. Congratulations, everyone. And everyone who's gotten paid since the last meeting that we had, way to go. Yeah. And our March numbers. So our numbers tell our story, right? So I just want to point out that we're up 20% in closed units, 47% in closed volume. I mean, they're all pretty impressive numbers. Contracts written, 82%, listings sold, 66%. I mean, these are great numbers, you guys. And 41% in GCI. You guys are making 41% more money. It's pretty awesome. And just so you know, in closed units, we had our best March ever. And in closed sales volume, same. That one, we're up significantly there. So in closed sales volume, that was our best March ever. Listings sold was our best March ever. Listings sold volume, best March ever by almost double. And contracts written, volume, best March ever by almost double again. So keep up the good work. This is awesome. Happy. It's exciting. So this is a piece that that I like to send out, or we like to send out every month to give you some leverage in your presentations. So we call it lore, or the language of real estate, and it tells our story. So you can add it to your presentations, especially for newer agents if you don't have the production to really boost your the selling of yourself. You can add these to your presentations and just show that you know, these are our numbers as an office. This is who you're affiliated with. This is who you're in business with. These are your numbers too. So go ahead and use those and get that business. But I also send, in the same email, I'll send you a template that you can customize for yourself. So you can put your own numbers in there. You can find those on your multi-year trends. I put the instructions in the email, but if you'd like more information, I'm happy to do a one-on-one and show you how to do that. So it's great leverage for your business. And also keep in mind when you're in your presentations, you have access to over 200 agents. So that's a good selling point as well. So profit share, we are killing it this year. So we had 7,000 for March, and we're already in 3 months at almost 19,000 in profit share. That's owner profit shared with our agents. and it's a reward for growing your business. So if you'd like more information on how to do that, let me know. I'm happy to share it with you. Okay, so I want to remind you that we have a meet and greet coming up on April 28th on Thursday. It's 5:30 to 7:30 at Owen's Bistro, and that's in Chino on D Street. It's a cute little place. We want you to meet and greet your segment leaders. The segments are KW Commercial, Luxury, Wealth Building, and Leverage. And we have a group of visionaries here who are leading the charge on this. And we want you to meet them and find your niche. Just learn, what areas do you want to focus in, get information, just get to know everyone. We'll have drinks and appetizers. It'll be a nice event. And please RSVP to the Eventbrite that was sent out. The original link didn't work, but we fixed it. So if you need it or you need one of us to register for you, we're happy to do that. Just let us know. But it is limited seating. Yeah, it does. They said the food looks good. Yeah, there'll be a limit on drinks. Yeah, who was that? So we've got a military division with KW. KWRI is putting on some fantastic divisions and information for you and ways to just connect with different groups of people. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna play this video for you guys. Let me know on Zoom. I want to make sure you can hear it. I think you can, but just let me know if you can't. So if you're interested, if that's your niche, that's where you go. And if you need more information, let one of us know. Sorry, bear with me. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Also, we have Keller Mortgage. There's a communication kit that's available to you. This is great stuff. Keller Mortgage has all kinds of helpful selling points for you with clients. So be sure to check them out. Family reunion. So just a reminder, that's available until the 25th of this month. We're going to be playing some classes in here. So we'll let you know. We'll shoot an email out and let you know when we're going to be playing them, but it's great information. So be sure to stop in and get a hold of some of that info. And also April, I don't know if you know, but it's Fair Housing Month. So we want to focus attention on that. All kinds of classes to help you understand that more and learn more about how you can utilize that in your business. So one that we have coming up next week, the week after, is the unconscious bias. And we'll be playing that here in the event center. So come on in and just gain a better understanding. And we'll send that out on Facebook and in the newsletter as well. And you can actually get a certification to be an agent of distinction. there's a course that you can take to get qualified in that and use that in your business. We've got Agent Mega Camp coming up. It's on August 23rd and 24th. Early bird tickets are on sale, and be sure to grab your ticket. I think they're going to do a virtual piece to this as well, but Mega Camp, I think, is one of the best events that KW puts on. It's very high level conversation and information. You hear from people who are just killing it in the industry, and they're sharing their secret sauce. So I would highly recommend that you get registered for that. If you need help, let one of us know. Happy to help you out with that. And then we have some of our segments, as I mentioned earlier. We have a local segment group, and then we have KWRI, right? So KWRI has all kinds of classes that you can jump in on. If you're interested in new homes, land, luxury, commercial, young professionals, they're bringing it all. So feel free to jump in on those. And if, again, if you ever need help navigating to where to find these classes and how to register, just let us know. The Outfront magazine. So this is really cool because it's actually customizable. You can make this look like it's your very own magazine, and it's in an electronic format and a printed format. So this is a valuable tool for your arsenal. Social media content. I sent this out, I think it was last week, on just, I think, 30 points of contact through social media, like content that you can post that's relevant. So they, Keller Williams International is bringing that every month. So I'll be sending that to you guys so that you have good content to stay in front of people with. Designs update. So again, April is National Fair Housing Month. You can help spread the word about diversity, equity, and inclusion by sharing this suite of design graphics with your sphere. So you can use this for your online presence as well. So good stuff in there. And they also have some other updates, holidays and different kinds of things, just graphics that you can use for your social media. And you can amplify your Q2 lead gen efforts by customizing and publishing the latest agent branded magazine. Coming to designs in late April, this issue will feature client-focused content about spring cleaning tips, perfecting your patio, fun fitness ideas for shaking off the cold, and other space for promoting your business. So again, it's just things that are already done for you. You just have to implement. And just a reminder about the TCPA. We have a login for the National Do Not Call registry. I posted that the other day because the password, they make you change the password every 90 days. So if you're ever logging in there and it's not working, it's because I forgot to change the password. So just let me know. But when I change it, I'll post it in Facebook and send an email out and let you guys know what it is. So, but make sure you check that list before you make your calls. It's very important because the fines are really steep. I just want to thank Barbara Moody for bringing lunch and just being a support to us. So thank you so much, Barbara, with Snap NHD.
Hi, everybody. Barbara Moody. I'm the Vice President of Snap NHD, and I'm proud to be here. I know Larry Church was calling on your office, and I know you guys loved him and you guys were supporting him a lot. Larry has been offered the position of going inside for our company and working as a compliance manager. So that's really super exciting for him. It was a promotion. And so he definitely was thrilled about it. Oh, sorry. Am I on camera? Oh, hi. So he was definitely excited about that. Also, as you know, he just had a baby girl. So this helps him to be able to spend more time with his daughter too. So she's adorable, by the way, if you haven't seen pictures of her. She looks just like Larry, but a girl. And but so cute. But she did a first zip forms class with him one day. It was so cute. Yeah, she attended it with us. She was such a good little girl. But we do have, you know, the zip forms training classes. We do have the new fire hardening defensible space classes. Larry does teach both of them actually. We do them via Zoom. But I am boots on the ground in this area now. I've been the existing person for SNAP. I've been with the company for 5 years, but I've been in the industry for 25. And I've been out in the Inland Empire for 25. I live in Monrovia. So about 25 years ago, I was offered, you live over there too? Oh, love Monrovia. Love Old Town Myrtle. I know. It's my little place. So I was offered a job 25 years ago to come out here and compete. So I said, sure, I don't even know where these places are, but sure, I'll take it. So I've been having too much fun ever since. Snap NHD is the leader in the NHD industry. The reason why is because we are a technology-based NHD company. And when we came out, all the other companies, because usually to get an NHD report, it was taking like 24 hours, you know, up to like the end of the day. If you ordered it in the morning, you would get it like either the next day or in the, you know, later that afternoon, like 5 o'clock. But when we came out, because we are a technology-based company, that means we can streamline our reports faster. And we can literally get the reports to the agents, the TCs, the escrow officers within minutes. And so everybody was kind of like, whoa, how are they doing this? So everybody had to like innovate, you know, because that's what this world is now, right? It's all technology based, our phones, our computers, everything is, you know, at a snap, just like our company. And so everybody kind of stepped it up, tried to step it up when we came out. But we are the leaders because we, you know, we are the ones that came out with this fast system first. And so you do get, when you place an order with us, and I'm sure your TC can, you know, and your escrow people can, you know, say this to you. Once you hit that enter button, you have that report within not even 5 minutes, like 2 minutes. And it's literally in a snap. Agents, TCs love that. Escrow officers love that. By the time they have typed up their escrow instructions or whatever, they have the report already. They can attach it to the agent and boom, it's done. Our pricing is only $69.95 for the standard and $99.95 for the environmental. You guys always put down the environmental. It's anything that's man-made that can affect the consumer, which is like oil drilling, gas stations. If you've got a factory in your neighborhood that's producing something that could be toxic or environmentally not friendly, you know, the new homeowner should find that out. It's up to them if they want to deal with those kind of hazards. The new thing that came out the last couple of years is the big thing in the NHD industry, which is the fire hardening and defensible space. If you guys don't know about that, we can always do a class for you guys. But it's basically if a property is residential 1 to 4 units, and if it does fall into a very high or high fire severity zone, the seller needs to fill out a form to provide information to the buyer, which just states if they have hardened their home. And that's certain things. They don't have to, but that way the buyer knows if they have or they haven't. Okay, but it's not a requirement to close escrow by any means. It is just a reminder to the buyer and the seller that if you live in a fire area because of the fires that happened a couple of years ago, take these steps if you can afford them. A, I think they're tax write-off. I know the dual pane windows are. B, it just helps you to be safer. Did you know that a fire ember can fly a mile when it's lit? Okay, so that's scary. I live in Monrovia on Canyon, and I was literally 3 blocks from the Bobcat fire. It burned down Monrovia Canyon, which was really sad. That I live on Canyon. I live on between the 100 and the 200 block. So it was literally walking distance from my house. And the smoke was hugely intense, really bad. 2 air purifiers in my house. It was scary. And so for people that live even closer to the fire area, it's a definite thing that you want to try to harden your home. We're talking getting dual paned glass for your tempered glass for your windows. If you don't have that and the heat gets to your house from the fire, it can just blow up and burn and just shatter. Okay. Also clean the eaves in your rain gutters. Okay. If you have twigs, if you have leaves, if you have whatever in there, baby birdie nests, okay? Those are all made out of combustible things. If that live ember hits a baby birdie nest, it's going to ignite, going to get to it's on your house, boom, it's done. Okay, so it's just a reminder to keep these things in mind. Also, rear roofs. If you have to get a new roof, really think about the materials that are not as combustible. Okay, red tiles, other kinds of roofs. If you've got to make the expense anyway, think about protecting your house more. Now, the defensible space aspect of it is basically make sure that you don't have anything close to your house within 30 feet. Like some people that have a fireplace, they'll put like cut up wood against, like leaning against their house. No, don't do that. Because again, if that ember hits that, then it's going to ignite that wood. And then guess what? That wood's leaning against your house and boom, it's done. Okay. If you have a bunch of stuff, whatever, in your car, garage, whatever, and it's attached to your house and something were to happen like that, it can ignite. So shrubs, okay, trees, make sure that they're trimmed, cut. A lot of people like say if they have a shrub, I even have it in front of my house. If you have a shrub in front of your house, it takes like the full length of the window. A lot of people will just trim it straight across, right? And let them go together. No, you don't want to do that. You want to separate each one of those plants so that there is a place that the fire has to jump to instead of just start and then go. Okay, so these are all things that make your house hardened and also defensible space. San Diego is the only other county that I know of that has a farther place than 30 feet from the home. It's 60, I believe it is. But it's basically keeping anything away from the perimeter of your house. And that's also not just protect you and your house, but your pets, but also when the firemen try to come to your house and save you and your house, they need to get to your house. Some people, if you look at their yards, they have 50 billion cars in the driveway. They have all this stuff, and that deters the fire department from getting in there and doing their job. And so it's just basically a kind of a wake-up call to the consumers. Now, people ask, is a fire hardening defensible space going to hold a or no, it's not. There is part of it that if you do fall into the part of defensible space that you need to have an inspection done on your property, with our report, we do have the links for that. So if you are in part of that, you click on the link, it'll tell you how to apply for it. It is not something where if you are supposed to do the defensible space inspection and you don't, there is no defensible space police officers that are going to come to your house and say, hey, you didn't do this. At this time, there isn't. So agents are like, well, then do we really have to do it? Well, but the thing is, though, is with the new fire hardening defensible space, the sellers do have to fill out this form. Have you done any of these things to your house to, fire harden your house? If they haven't, then they haven't. If they have, then that just lets the buyer know, yes, I've done dual pane glass. That's all I've done, but that is what I've done. That's the biggest expense. And then they're on the form on 4A and 4B. It says, I, the seller, have filled this out to my actual knowledge. That's the key thing there. It has to be the actual knowledge of the seller, not somebody told them. It has to be something they really know. And then they say, I'm going to go ahead. My house, does need the inspection. I'll go ahead and set it up and do it. But nobody's wanting to do that. So everybody's going to 4B. Seller, I'm filling out this form. I do not want to be responsible for the inspection. I am giving that to you, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, and you are responsible for it. You have up to a year and a half to get it done. It can be done after escrow. And that way, everybody's taken that option. And now, if they do or don't have it done within a year and a half, like I said, there's no police out there that are going to bust them for it at this time. But I would, if somebody's telling me to do something, you should do it. Even if there's not somebody that's going to come knocking at your door. So, so that's pretty much a nutshell about the fire hardening defensible space stuff. If you want more detailed, like I said, we can do a class with Larry. But our pricing is $69.95, $99.95 for the environmental. If you haven't tried us yet, you get 50% off your first deal. So that's awesome. If you have a seller, if you have a listing right now, let me know. I can save you that money. And then we also do offer a discount for first responders, veterans, anybody like that. And it is a special promo code that I have to use. So if you have any clients on any files that are firemen, veterans, doctors, nurses, let me know. I can give them that discount in appreciation for us, helping to protect our country and stepping up with everything that happened with COVID and all that. Okay. So thank you so much. Thanks. I wrapped it all up in a nutshell. Okay. Thanks, honey.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Also want to just introduce Maribel Atalano. She's a great notary. She works with Debbie in our escrow company. So if you need a notary, that's your go-to person. I want to jump into this Gary Keller video on what's that one? On a shifting market. Sorry. I think this is going to be really valuable to you guys. If I can figure it out, sorry. I don't know where it went to. That's not it. You guys, I apologize for my technical difficulties. This is a little advanced for me. I did minimize it earlier, but I can't find it. So I think and I bookmarked it too, but I don't see it now. Is it on a different window? There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So this is James Shaw. He is one of the head honchos in KW, and he has an entire Facebook group called Pivot Shift. It's an entire Facebook group based on a shifting market and how to handle things in those types of markets. So I just want to play this for you. It's him and Gary Keller. It's excellent conversation. So I hope you'll appreciate it. And then right after that, I'm going to introduce our MAPS coach, Robyn. She's online, and she'll, just hi, Robyn. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and play this. Just one moment.
Hello, Keller Williams and guests watching on Connect Live and on Pivot Shift Ahead. It's your friend James Shaw, and we are back and better than ever for day 2 of our shift workshop. First, I want to thank everyone who watched yesterday. Nearly 7,000 of you watched this live yesterday, which is amazing. And another about 2,000 of you watched a recording yesterday of it. So it's so cool to see the impact that the shift workshop had for you yesterday. And I'm excited that you're back today for day 2. It's going to be amazing. I'm just going to tell you right now, we've got quite the treat today. It's the parade of panelists, quite frankly. As we help prepare you to win in any market, we've brought in experts that are going to help us do that. So we'll spend some time together right now, kind of recapping yesterday and setting the stage for today. And then a little bit later on, we're going to do our first panel is a seller strategies panel, how to work with sellers right now in this kind of crazy market. Denny Grimes, Maps and Bold Coach, is going to join us to walk through objections that we might face and what are some of the common ones and how do we overcome those? What kind of conversations do we need so that we can win in this market? Jenny Wallach from Tulsa, Oklahoma will join us to talk about how you turn the listings you get into more listings, because we're always looking for those. And then how do we provide amazing service to those that we're working with? And then Marcy Chambers Smith is going to join us to talk about how she navigated through a listing that had 155 offers. So that's a whole seller strategy piece. When that's over, we're gonna talk about buyers, because man, those of you out there working with buyers right now, it's a fascinating time to do that, no doubt. And Charles Holloway has an amazing system that he's using in Virginia, and he's gonna walk us through that. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic. And then it's about bulletproofing. You get your buyer and your seller under contract and they're ready to rock and roll, and then stuff comes up. We're hearing upwards of 20% of contracts are falling out in today's market. And so we're going to talk with Jeremy Ellis from Keller Mortgage about some things you need to be aware of mortgage-wise to help you. And then we've got a group from Tony Baroni's team in the Tampa Bay area, and he also does business in Orlando. Tony, his top buyer agent, Kate Conroy, and Laurie, who runs his TC department, are going to be on to talk about what they're doing right now to keep transactions together and make them hold. If that's not enough for you, totally cool, no worries. Gary Keller will join us at about 2:30 Central Time. So you want to be on for that to talk about, what are the action steps we as agents should be taking right now in this market. And then we'll put a big bow on it. We'll have Sajik Patel come on and kind of give us the coaching perspective of what that means. So we're in for a great treat today. Now, yesterday, we kicked things off, well, I think at an elite level, quite frankly. And I want to do a quick recap of what we talked about yesterday. And if you missed yesterday, no worries. It'll be in Connect in the next couple of days, and it's in Pivot Shift Ahead right now. In fact, if you go on to Pivot Shift Ahead in Facebook and go into the little search box and type Shift Workshop, it'll be like the first or second video that pops up. It's from me. I posted it, and it'll say Shift Workshop Day 1, and it's about 3 hours. And you can go back and rewatch that. It's great to do. You're on your Peloton, or you're doing your workout, or you're driving the kids to school or whatever, and you just want to have that stuff playing in the background. You can totally go back and watch it. And then this video will be available immediately when we're done. Like the second we're done, if you want to go back and watch it, you can. Yesterday, though, we started off talking with Jim Talbot. He's the director of research for Keller Williams Realty International. And he gave us some perspective about the market. He said that the average inventory, the month supply of inventory on average right now in the US is about 1.3 months. That's just unbelievable. In some markets, it's less than that. I'd encourage you to go look up and see what it is in yours, but my guess is it's probably less than 2 months worth of inventory. And so we talked about, well, what happens when inventory starts to creep up? What happens if we go from 1.3 months, right, to 2.6 months? Like you double the amount of inventory on the market. Does that mean a shift is coming? And he said, no, not really, because that's still historically low. It's still a seller's market. Remember, anything below 5 months worth of inventory on the market is a seller's market. 5 to 7 months is a shifting market or transitional one. And 7 months or more is a buyer's market. So when he says, go watch it, you should know, you should pay attention to what's happening to inventory. But as it moves up from 1.3 to 2.6 and so on, it may not be cause for concern about a shift from one market to another unless it happens very quickly. So pay attention to that. The other thing he said is you want to track several different measurements, right? You want to track units in your market, how many actual units and transactions are happening, and you want to track volume. And what he said right now with what's happening to prices is volume is going to outpace units. And I said, hey, why don't you do this? Go look and compare your year over year numbers. And maybe because 2020 was kind of funky, you might want to compare, say, right now to 2019. And go and pull the numbers and compare your production and the change in your production to the change in the market. If the market is up 10% in units and you were also up 10% in units, then quite frankly, you're just getting your bump from the market, right? The water's gone up and so your boat has risen as well. And yet if the market's up 10%, but you're up 15%, well, you're outperforming the market, right? By 5%. But then here's the other one. Let's say the market's up 10% and you're up only 5%. Now, when you go look at it, you look at your numbers and you're like, look, we're up year over year. I'm up 5%, but the market's beating you. You're actually behind. Now, you can only do something about it if you know the numbers. So I encourage you to go back and look and compare. And I made a comment yesterday. I said, I think the number one indicator of the health of your business is the number of units that you sell. And I want to correct that. I do think that's an important piece. The number one indicator of the health of your business is your profitability. I just want to make sure that we cover that. And I don't want anyone to miss that. That's what indicates whether or not you have a great business is if it's profitable. And at a minimum, you should be netting 40% of your gross income as profit. This is all stuff we've covered in Business Planning Clinic. And so I don't want anyone to get confused by that. The number one indicator is, are you profitable? And is it at least 40%? The next thing, though, the health of your business is going to be units. Are you helping the number of families that you intend to help year after year? And is that helping you get to your goal? All right, so that was our conversation with Jim Talbot. Jim did a great job, and he's on he's on Connect Live and Pivot Shift Ahead the last Thursday of every month to give you an overview of the key numbers that you need to know. And then the numbers he teaches you are the ones you want to know for your local market. All right, so then we brought in a seller strategy panel. And we did this because we said, look, in this market, if you want to win, you should make sure that your lead generation strategy matches the needs of the market. So why is it people are selling? And what we found out is there's basically three reasons. You know, the big one was they want to take advantage of equity. Another one was that they wanted more space. And the third one was that they wanted to move closer to friends or to family. Those are the big three. So if that's the case for you in your market, what specific lead generation strategies do you have in place to take advantage of that opportunity? So we talked with Chris in Milwaukee, who's doing the equity analysis, and what she shared with us is that she's taken 14 listings this year. It's March 10th. It's been like 10 weeks. 14 listings this year from an equity analysis. And her process was quite simple. She is following the DTD2 schedule. That's Do the Database 2. It's from Steve Schlueter and Tammy Younks. They teach us it in Never Ending Referrals from MAPS and in Bold also from MAPS. And that is, you have 2 letters by last name that you reach out to every week. And you reach out, and she says, here's what I do. The Friday before it's their week, I text all those people. I text them and I say, hey, I'm working on a home evaluation.
You guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to jump ahead to the part where Gary Keller comes in. I'm sorry, I didn't write down the time, so I had to go look on my computer. But I'm just going to forward it ahead there, okay? Because that's where the really good stuff is. Not that the rest of this isn't good, but for time's sake, I want to make sure.
With buyers and now bulletproofing. So now it's up to you to actually take this stuff and get into action, or as we always say, go from inspiration to perspiration. So we figured the best way to do that was to bring Gary on to talk with us. So I'm so excited. Gary Keller is joining us today on the Shift Workshop, and what a great way to kind of put a bow on today. So let's see, there we go. So Gary, thank you so much for spending time with us. It's been a powerful workshop for 2 days now. They've heard so many great ideas and so many great strategies. And I want to start with this because I remember a few years ago, I reached out to you. I was going to teach Shift for KWYP. And I figured we have a generation of people in our company that have never lived a market that you and Dave and Jay wrote this book for, right? They wrote this in 2008 in a buyer's market. Gosh, if they got in the business after 2011, they've never experienced one. So I reached out to you and I said, what advice would you give? And you told me the only way to get ahead is to act like the market that's coming, not the market that you're in.
Yeah, that's right.
We're in a crazy hot market. Can you talk a little bit about that right now? Why is that so important?
Well, because the markets always change, right? Essentially the reason why they call it an economic cycle is because what goes up comes down and what comes down goes up. So my advice is and this is I take this advice, James, and that is every day, operate in the market you're in while at the same time recognizing that it's going to shift. That's all. So don't take it for granted because shifts happen suddenly. I remember our friend Dave Jinks, who was an avid golfer, would pull out a golf club and he would demonstrate that an economic cycle is experienced just like a golf swing. So he would take his golf club and it would rear back like this. And then he would demonstrate a golf swing. And what happened is that it's slow here and speeds up as it goes. So there's a lot of momentum. You may feel the shift right here, but everything, it didn't happen overnight. There were things that were happening And if you weren't paying attention to it, you would all of a sudden you'd be suddenly shocked by it. So it's just a simple idea that says when you wake up in the morning, be happy in the moment you're in, but be prepared for the future at the same time. That's all, because it's going to happen. It will happen, and it will shock you. It's almost like Goodbye American Pie, the day the music died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Having been in this business for over 44 years, I can assure you, I've seen enough of these because it comes with regularity. The only weird thing right now is that we're in unprecedented times for a couple of reasons, but one of them is the prolonged recovery.
Yeah, it seems like we've been in this seller's market forever.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you go back and look at the info that Jay and Jason and I and Robyn put up at the vision speech, and you look at it, we dropped off a cliff. And actually, it happened in the last quarter of 2005, really. They didn't report it as an economic recession until 2008, but it actually happened in 2005 and 2006. You could see it. If you were paying attention, you could see it.
Mm-hmm.
But economic cycles usually occur in like a rhythm of 7 to 9 years. There's just a rhythm to it. You go back and look, and you'll see it. So if that happened in 2008, let's just call it 2008 for the fun of it, then we should have by 2015, 16, no later than 18, we should have been in a real economic cycle, but we didn't. We did just the opposite. It just kept going. COVID hit, and literally everybody thought, okay, this is it, because economic cycles are mainly caused by the government. And the reason is because when things are really good, then they want to literally go ahead and raise interest rates back up because when things are really good, it gets overheated, and they don't like that, right? And then things are bad, they lower rates, they lower the cost of money, they do the economic decisions that they need, dials, if you will, that they turn in order to ratchet the economy up and down. And they never get it right. It's not because they don't know what they're doing. It's because once they start it, they don't know how far it'll go. Right, either direction. So most of the time, the challenges of the economy have been caused by the government. The desire to ramp things up. I remember when it started out, I think, with Clinton, but it was a plan that Cisneros, who was the governor of San Antonio, the mayor of San Antonio, excuse me, had come up with to try to increase the overall percentage of homeowners in America. And man, that was a disaster, because what they started doing was creating, if you could fog a mirror, you got a loan. Next thing you knew, you had people in houses that shouldn't be in it. Anyway, well, I don't need to go any further on that. So essentially, you're right. So
we've been in this ramp up now since 2011, and yet I tell you, this book is still completely relevant. It just reads a little bit differently, but excuse me, we have some uncertainty right now. You leave your house today to drive to KWRI. I don't know what the price of gas was as you were driving in through Austin, and I know here in the last week it's gone up 50 or 60 cents, and it's a hot topic, and it is what it is. And you've got Russia and Ukraine, and you've got inflation, and you've got supply chain, and you guys covered all this at Family Reunion.
And you got COVID.
Yeah, and you've got COVID still is here. You've got all this uncertainty, and yet there's a house in my neighborhood, Gary, that is appreciated. It was sold and closed in December, and it went back on the market today, and it's $50,000 more than they paid for it, and they're going to get it this weekend. I mean, what is going on, and what is to come?
Yeah, well, I covered this in the vision speech. The bottom line is that we had the lost decade of new home construction, and I pointed this out every year since it started. Right, there's a number, and when you don't hit it, you're not replenishing the market, and so you just have a completely seller's market, and it's not going to go anytime soon, because it would, at the current pace now of building you would get back to equilibrium in 20 years. Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. I mean, but that's the truth. So we're going to be a seller's market for a long time. And the only way that that's going to shift is a calamity. Because remember, the way you get out of a seller's market is when buyers collectively go, nah, I think I'm gonna stay where I am.
Is there any thought, and pardon my interruption, I just got to ask you though, is there any thought at all that buyers might think that right now? Understanding that the people are always going to buy and sell, and that you always have a chance, but
no, because we covered this, and the rich got richer.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, the cost of money has stayed ridiculously low.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple percentage points below the historic average nationally. So no, money is still historically ridiculously cheap, and incomes are going up. So people have the money in order to do it. So here's the other ridiculous idea though, and that is every year we point out the 4% trend line on pricing.
Yep.
And then we talk about where we are in relation to that 4% annual appreciation or inflated home price. And you're not that far ahead of it.
right. Well, you showed us last year. It's first of all, we had, or just showed us last month rather. We had below, and then we kind of got there, and then it's just a tick above. I mean, it's right. Really we've been catching back up for the last several years.
Yeah, that's right. So that's exactly right. And so it's really odd because you look up and you go, good God, this is overpriced.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the trend line and you go nationally, you go, wow,
yeah,
that's so weird because it feels ridiculously high. And yet the trend line says it's not ridiculously high compared to everything else. So, but here's what we know. What we know is that history says this would be the first time ever in mankind that prices just kept going up and never stopped. So if you're a betting person, it's going to stop. Now, the last time we had this happen, which was the run up to 0506,
right,
we had, I believe, I could be exactly wrong, but I believe we had 4 years above the trend line. In other words, prices
4 years above this 4% annual growth or appreciation.
We did.
So that's a warning sign.
Yep. Well, of course it is. And that is, it's outstripping affordability. That's all that means. Remember that a house, a lot of people in real estate, we understand this, but a house is the reason why home prices will always go up. So as realtors, we need to understand this. The reason why they're going to go up is because there'll always be new construction, and new construction is the current replacement cost of a house. And the replacement cost of a house, what's fascinating is it's the greatest storehouse of commodities of any product ever invented, right? You buy any product that you want, right? My phone here. My phone here is a product of a variety of commodities, from rubber to, right, you name it. It's all here. Glass, it's all here, right? Okay. My house has more commodities in it than and more different types of labor attached to it than any other product. So, right, it's got it all. And so as a result of that, the resale price of a house has usually been governed by the replacement cost. Now,
which is always going to be more, right?
So
well, it's more expensive. It's harder to get. There's fewer people to do it. For a while we couldn't get lumber. I mean, so all of that stuff adds up, and boom, now you have stuff that goes up and goes up.
That's it. That's exactly right. So literally, that's exactly right. So, but at some point, if left out of control, you ultimately end up with prices where you have fatigue, and buyers simply go, I'm going to take a year off.
Right.
And when they take
that's what I think would happen at some point, people are going to go look at, let's use gas because it's the big one right now. They'll look and go, hey, I'm not going to pay that much for gas, so we're going to drive less, or we're going to carpool, or we're going to do this. And maybe
Here's
something
the
like
thing,
that changes.
but here's the thing is the real estate pricing is no different than the stock market. So the stock market, in any 9 to 10 year period, roughly, is going to return a 9 to 10% return on your money. And that's since the very beginning of the exchange, going all the way back to the very beginning, James. So, but at any point in time, your portfolio could be up or down.
Yes.
But if you take it in any period of 9 to 10 years, go track it, it's going to average out 9 to 10. Now, by the way, it could be down 1% after 9 years. And in the 10th year, go up by 10. That you see my point. So
we track things over time. The bottom line is we track this stuff.
Bottom
over
line
time.
is if you buy into the stock market, you need to understand that you need to be able to afford to leave your money in the market until the market ultimately delivers its average. By the way, a home is no different, because people, again, for decades asked me, man, is it a good time to buy? My answer is that depends on your holding horizon.
Mhm.
It's not just this answer of, oh no, or oh yeah, right, prices are down, you should do it. I get
What's your
that. I mean,
motivation? Why are you thinking about it? What is it that has you considering buying? I mean, and that's
here's the
where I
point.
want.
Here's
What's
the
that?
point. Hang on. Here's the point that I'm sorry. Here's the point that I always tell my own buyers and sellers. It's not the fault of the real estate, and it's not the cause of the real estate as to whether you made money or lost money. It's your ability to hang on to the real estate long enough to experience the ultimate appreciation driven up by the cost of all the commodities that go into the replacement of it.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
I want to do one more.
If you have
thing.
a good time, if you have a good, so people say, should I buy today? It feels so high. What's our answer?
Well, it depends how long you live there.
Horizon. If you're willing to commit that you can afford to stay here if you had to for 10 years, or hold it, even if you bought something else, but hang on to this line. And I always tell the story. I wrote it in MREI that the first investment property I bought, I paid 65 grand. And it was a set of properties. They were attached townhomes right off of downtown. And the value dropped to 19.5. I know that because the one next to it sold for 19.5. It was identical to the one I owned. By the way, I always made cash flow. I ultimately sold that property for like 92, 93, something like that.
You held it long enough.
Yeah, I held it long enough. It always cash flowed. And I ultimately sold it and got all my money back and made some money. Yeah.
But if you had to sell it when that person sold theirs, it's not the real estate's fault, right? That it was worth $19,000. It was because you chose to sell it in that moment, and it is what it is. Okay.
Sure.
I want to do one more thing. And Gary, thank you for taking the time to be on.
Remember, population is going to go up, and the amount of real estate that's for sale when it is always going to be trying to chase that.
Yeah.
And whenever you have a long-term undersupply, prices are going to inflate.
I love it. I have one more question.
Yep.
There's a page 28 of Shift says this, and I want your opinion on it, because what we've talked about is these are all things agents don't have control over. The market does what the market does, and they can't control prices, and they can't control that.
Sure.
But here's what they can control. Here's what you say on page 28. Business analysts had often pointed out that the seeds of failure are usually sown during times of success. The most humbling lesson of a shift is this: we succeed in good times, not only because of what we do right, but also in spite of what we do wrong. All right, you and Jay and Jason, everybody, and Robyn said at family reunion, we are in the market of instant sales. You put it on the market and it sells tomorrow. So we have a bunch of agents who are selling a ton of houses. Their volume is way up. They're making crazy money. And by the way, many of them are working hard. I'm not discounting anybody, Gary, but we have a lot of people who think they're really, really awesome. And whenever it flips, they're going to be exposed. Their lack of foundation or lead gen strategy or consistency is going to be exposed.
Right.
What do you want to say to them?
Well, what you said it all perfectly, that what happens in a boom market is you become lazy on your fundamentals. you get so busy, you stop doing the fundamental things because you're so busy. I mean, I was on the phone with an individual earlier today, and she's just worn out. She's a single agent, has one admin person, and did over $1 million in GCI by herself. Made a lot of money, but she has 2 young boys, and she's worn out. And what happens in that moment is you drop the fundamentals. So when the market shifts, all of a sudden you look up and you don't have a backlog of business. That's what happens. That's the danger of good times. That's all. So the way I think about it is, on one hand, you always want to live in the market of the moment. But the market of the moment is not about the fundamentals. It's about your messaging. The market of the moment is about the messaging around how to attract buyers and sellers. That's what the market of the moment is about. It doesn't change the fundamentals of lead gen, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you think of the real estate business, the business that we're in, first and foremost, we're expected to be real estate experts. And if you're not a real estate expert in your local market and you're not a transaction expert, I don't know what you're doing for a living. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do for a living. But
Well, you
once
said, real quick, you said that our job as real estate agents is to provide perspective to potential buyers and sellers. In order to do that, you have to understand what's going on.
That's well said. That's exactly right. So, but if you got that, if you're an individual who is constantly paying attention, you're a transaction master, you got that, and you understand the market, you understand the market dynamics in which you serve, we're good to go. Now, there's just a handful of fundamentals. We lead gen, we convert to appointments, we convert appointments to listing and buyer agreements. We transact and we transaction manage, and if we get listings, we market listings. That's it. That's what we do. That's it. In terms of professional actions, those are the moments where we deliver our expertise and our perspective, right? What happens is, depending on the market, people let the market dictate their daily routine around how they do business. And the point that we're ever trying to make is stop that. Every day you wake up, you manage your time exactly the same way. And you have a decision. If you want to work extra time and you want to make more money, that's awesome. Or you can hire leverage, make a little less money or a lot less money in the short term, but have time back and lay the foundation to grow. You make all these decisions you want, right? But the decision you should never make, and that is to drop the fundamentals. Don't ever do that. This is not a complicated business. When we wrote The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, what we were really trying to point out in the end was your database is your business. Your network is your net worth, right? And so the one thing you can't drop is your 33 touch, your 45 touch, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
For me, every day, I'm trying to have a great career, not just a great year. So I understand this. And as an investor, I really understand this. And that is, I make investment decisions every day. My money doesn't necessarily make money every day.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes a ton of sense.
Okay. So it's the same in real estate sales, meaning that every day I'm going to do the things necessary to ultimately, when I tally up the score, I'm going to have had a great career. And I'm a little agnostic to the market because I'm always going to live beneath my means. So I'm not desperate for this to be the year that I crush it. What I'm very
because you're looking long term. This is who you are. This is what you do.
Yeah, if I live long enough, I better plan for it. Yeah. So the way I think about it is, here's a good example, and that is, if I wake up in the morning, my job as a realtor, my job description is to get to a millionaire database. That's job number one of everyone listening. Now, whether it's the millionaire, whether it's the half millionaire, whether it's the quarter millionaire, I mean, whatever database you want to stop at, but your job, when I meet someone, and I started thinking about this way when I was 22 years old. My job was not to sell you or list you. My job was to connect with you, put you in my database, and be your realtor for life.
Yep.
And what I knew is that the path is in the math, and the law of numbers would ultimately drive me to success, whether I wanted it or not. So what happens is most agents wake up every day and they go, I got to make a sale.
Yep.
I never said that. I woke up every day and said, I have to add to my database. I have to touch
Such
my
a different perspective, Gary. That is such a different perspective.
my
than what most
job is to connect with people and be there for them.
people do.
And then I have to let the law of big numbers drive my income, but it doesn't drive my actions. My actions are driven by a fundamental understanding that my job is to connect with people and then stay in touch with them until they're ready to buy or sell. And I can't determine that. So I have to play the law of big numbers, meaning that I have to have a large enough database that I touch, that I have a relationship with at various levels, depending upon who's in my database, such that there's a large number every year that raises their hand and says, this is my year.
I love it.
And that's it. That's the game. And what's beautiful about this industry is it's really hard in the early period. But later, if you do that, it becomes the greatest business ever. But that would be true. My brother-in-law was an oncologist for up until just a few years ago. And he was one of the best in the city. He made a change. He decided to be I'm not sure what you call this, a concierge doctor or I think of it as a limited service doctor, meaning that he only has 50 clients now. He only has 50 patients.
Okay.
By the way. But each patient has to pay him $20,000 a year in order for him to be their doctor. He's the millionaire doctor.
He is.
With 50 clients. Now, how do you get there? Well, because he became the best, and he had such a large database that when he finally switched over and said, I'm going to quit being, Dr. Death, if you will. I'm going to quit being the cancer doctor, and I'm going to go into general practice. How can I have my best life possible? How can I get my life back? How can I not be on call 24 hours a day, if you will, and people lined up the door out the street and around the corner for me to do business with? So he went to his database and he told everybody, hey, I'm switching gears. So by the way, instead of paying me X, you're now going to pay me this, and it's not covered by your insurance.
Right.
You're going to come out of pocket, right? And it's $20,000 for you, and it's $10,000 more for your spouse and your family. So I'll cover all of you for 30 grand.
And he had 50 people say, sign me up.
90 days he filled up. He had so much, they brought another guy in, he filled up, and now they have a waiting list and they're thinking of adding a third. Okay. And all of that is because he was a master of what he was doing, and he maintained a relationship and a service relationship with the database.
It's a basic. I mean, you end the first chapter of Shift saying the basics are never outdated, and that's proof of it right there. So,
well, and it's interesting because most agents spend all day trying to avoid the basics.
well, that's what knocks them out, right? So if we can, the challenge we have right now.
That's right.
And Gary, I know we're up against the clock, but let's just get this part in. The challenge we have right now is you can not do the basics and sell houses and make money, and it's a pink fluffy unicorn. You can do that in 2022, but in 2037 or whenever it changes, you probably can't survive that way. Like it probably isn't going to work if you don't do the foundational things right now.
Well, if you're a professional, that's right. If you're a professional, the fundamental of any professional business is build a community and serve the community. That's it. That's all we do. And it doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a realtor. It doesn't matter if you're an architect. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're a dog store. Pet store, I mean. It doesn't matter if you're a hairstylist. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You build a community and you serve the community. And the size of your community is determined by you. You'll decide how big that community is. What happens is a lot of real estate agents outside of their family and friends Sajid, they don't have a community at all. You say, show me your database, show me your community. If all you could do was serve your community and you could never again provide any value to anybody outside of your community, show me that community.
There isn't one.
Oh my God, 95% or higher of the real estate industry would be broke overnight because they'd look up and they'd say, well, past my friends and family, I don't have a community. I haven't curated a community. I don't serve that community. And you look up and you go, every business has a community. Apple has a community and they've identified it and they now serve that community.
Well, the more value you add, the bigger the community gets. What's that?
Yeah, I was going to say, everybody has a cell phone. They're not selling net new to the community.
Right.
If they are, it's not a whole lot.
Well, and the more value you add, the bigger the community gets at the end of the day. So if you add a ton of value and you check in on your people, they're going to tell everybody else around you, hey, since you brought it up, Sajid is here, so we'll bring him in. And we'll do this piece of it. And Gary, you stick around as long as you want. I'm never kicking you off Connect. We're just going to keep rocking and rolling. But we'll invite Sajid Patel into the conversation, because Sajid, what I wanted you to do was kind of give us the actionable coaching perspective of what Gary shared with us. And so as you've been on this whole time listening to this conversation, what are the takeaways and ahas from you from what Gary shared so far?
Well, hang on. I'm gonna turn the floor over to my phenomenal colleague Sajid, and I'm not going to interrupt him, so I'm going to go mute and silent. So,
all right, Gary, sounds good. Thank you so much for being on. I appreciate you very, very much.
Go right ahead.
I couldn't hear you if you're asking for me to speak, Amy.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello?
I think yeah, Amy, I think you finally just came through to the stream. I don't know if anyone else has been listening, but all of a sudden they just got out at Mega, so it's going to be a little loud. I'm going to try to relocate or just bear with me because
Yeah,
so can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. So I'll be quick. I would have loved to have heard that last little bit about Sajid because I'm from MAPS Coaching and I'm a business growth advisor. And if you could, I don't know if they have access to listen to that entire video. I believe you said they did. Where
Yeah.
you left off with Sajid's perspective on coaching probably would give a lot of insight to what I'm going to address. But my
Do you
name
want me
is
to play it?
Robyn Aldo, and I work with MAPS. And I just want you to, this has been a blessing to be invited to this team meeting. And I really appreciate being invited. You have a fabulous group. You did an amazing job at showing the agents, thanking them, congratulating them, and showing them all of the resources that they have. And this is just another resource for you. So one of the things that was talked about is the various classes, the calendar, and everything else that's offered from your market center. And look at me as just another additional resource. I like to serve the community, and California Inland is one of my territories. And I think I'm part of so forgive me again for the sound. the pamphlets and the part of the, I'm not sure if you can pass that on, Amy, to the agents,
Yes.
but I'm available to do a complimentary business needs consultation to any of you. You can feel free to text me. That's the easiest way, and I'll respond quicker because my calendar gets full up pretty quickly. So I don't send anybody to my Google Calendar, but if you text me and you even have a question about MAPS coaching, group coaching, one-on-one coaching, or anything that MAPS has to offer, I would gladly give you time and as much time as you need to just let you know all the opportunities. And to piggyback what Gary was saying about the shift, the basics is what group coaching teaches, basics and advanced, and there's something for everybody from group. We have everything from inside sales. I've listed a few that are coming up in the next month, but throughout the year, there's a lot more. We've got one on military, one on commercial, and it goes on and on about Facebook opportunities and everything about building your database and how to get there. So I'm not sure if anyone has any questions. I'd be happy to answer any questions now, but I wanted to be brief to not take up too much time.
Anyone have questions for Robyn? Okay, well, I have a little worksheet that I will send out to you that Robyn sent to me. Some info about MAPS coaching and her contact information, and I will email that out to you guys. And there are copies in here for those of you who are live. But Robyn, I really greatly appreciate your time and your input and just being available to us. I know MAPS coaching is a great resource. I'm in MAPS coaching and I love it. Like, it's so helpful and so supportive. Just new ideas, new perspective, and a great resource to just improve yourself in your professional and personal life. So I give 2 thumbs up to MAPS coaching for sure.
Thank you, Amy. And I really, I might have been a little quick over that. It doesn't matter what stage you are as an agent, beginner agent, mega agent, luxury, been there for a lot of years. Definitely feel free to call me, set up a time, and we can talk about the various opportunities that MAPS has to offer you.
Great. Thank you, Robyn. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. And anytime you would like me to, give you an update or mail you updates to group coaching, feel free to lean on me and ask. I'm here to serve you and your market center.
Great. Thank you. That's great. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Enjoy Mega.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Right, bye-bye. All right. Do you guys want to talk about anything with the shift? I'm going to open it up to conversation if you want to have a conversation about it. No? No one? All right. Well, thanks for coming to the meeting today. We will send a recap out with some information about MAPS coaching and the link to watch that video, which I think I can send it. It might be specific login credentials, but we'll figure out a way to get it to you. So it's hopefully you've got some good information that you can implement into your business. And thank you for attending, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, everyone.